Hello, hi everyone. I'm Sanjay Gupta and I welcome you back on Skill Horizon YouTube channel. So, you must be thinking like after 22 days session, there were no session. Actually, last month was bit busy and I was not able to take any session and I was having throat infection as well. So, was unable to speak properly. But now I just restarted, and today we are having day 23. And in today's session, we will be discussing about wrapper classes in Apex as a challenge. So I don't have any requirement today that you will be solving. The challenge is to understand the uses of wrapper class, because in interviews normally it is being asked, and in real-time projects it is very frequently asked, like what is the importance of wrapper classes. So I will take an example and we'll discuss that. Prior to that, if you want to join Skill Horizon for learning online or offline, and you want to become job ready, because this year we gave a like very good placement success. We are already sharing that on LinkedIn. If you follow us on LinkedIn, so we generally apply three steps learning approach so that anybody can become Salesforce job ready. So we focus on the concept learning, we focus on the hands-on exercises and the project implementation. So if you or anybody in your circle wants to become job ready, so refer them this job readiness training program of Skill Horizon, and ask them to visit this website skillhorizon.org.in, and you can scan the QR code of Instagram and Telegram. So all the updates we are sharing there. Now let's talk about the wrapper classes in Apex. So today's challenge is to understand the uses of wrapper class in Apex. So basically I have an example for you, and with the help of that example I will explain you the uses of wrapper class. So this is a code snippet which is a very simple code snippet, and if I explain you this thing, so here what we are having, we have a class account wrapper demo, and in this class we have one method that is get account with context, and we have another block of code which is basically wrapper class. So if you don't know about wrapper class, so one thing you need to remember, like if you create a class inside another class, so the inner class can be considered as a wrapper. So here this inner class that we have available here, so this inner class will be considered as wrapper. Its name can be anything. Okay, so we have a main class that we have defined. Inside that we will be writing inner class, and its inner class name can be anything. Right now in this inner class we have defined some variables, class level variables, and then we have a constructor. Okay, so we have two variables available here. One is ACC record and another is contact list. Okay, these are two variables which are available over here. So what it will do, it will store a count record and then contact list will be stored. So these are the two class variables that we have in this wrapper. So now what is the use of wrapper actually? Why we require this? So straightforward answer will be like whenever you have more than one type of values that you want to return from a method. So generally method can return only one type of value. If you want to return more than one type of value, then we go for wrapper classes. Okay, so if you see above method here, return type is list of account wrapper. Okay, so we are returning wrap list over here. So we have created a wrapper list and we are returning it. So if you want to wrap multiple type of values together, then we can generate a wrapper class. So here we have account and list of contact, two different type of values, and this is a constructor. So through this constructor we are assigning the values, right? And above what we are doing in this method, we created a wrapper list, then we are doing a query, we are querying account with related context. Now here we are creating wrapper instances. So we have a loop, and inside that loop we are creating the instance. So this is the first instance that we are creating. We are passing account as a first parameter and acc.context as a second parameter. So acc.context will give all the all the contexts which are associated with the account, right? So here these two things we are passing. Now suppose if you want to customize this code, I have one more requirement. So we are storing account record, we are storing the related context. Now I want to store number of contexts as well. So what I can do, I am writing aura enabled public, then I am writing integer count, or we can say contact count. Now here aura enabled, basically why we are using, because if you want to call this method in LWC or aura component, so your methods and variables should be aura enabled so that they can be accessible there. Okay, and this way I just created this count. Now what I will be doing here, I will be creating integer contact count. So this is one parameter I am having here, and now we need to assign it. So this way, like I just added one integer here. So three different type of values we are storing. First one will be of type account, second will be of type list of contact, and third will be of type integer. Okay, so this way basically what we can do, we can club the values through wrapper. So that's why it is very powerful feature. If you want to return more than one type of values together, so instead of returning them one by one and only one value we can return, that is the limitation of method. So that problem can be solved with the help of this wrapper class. So this is how I customize it. I just added one more parameter here, that is integer, and from here I'm going to pass it acc dot context dot size. So this way I will be able to calculate the size of the contacts, and that will be available into this contact count, and then we are assigning it into the constructor, right? So this is how we can simply add any number of variables here in the wrapper class, and we can store the values, and together as a whole we can process that wrapper instance. Okay, you can return one wrapper instance, or you can store that wrapper instance into a list. So here in this example, what we are doing, we are storing that wrapper instance into the list, and then if this condition gets satisfied, like once this loop is completed, then whole wrapper we are returning here. Okay, so this is how this wrapper is working. So there is one question in the chat, I want to take it. So why there are get set and curly braces before variable in wrapper class? This is a very good question. So basically, if you want to interact with your Lightning Web component or our Aura component, if you want to receive some values into these variables, or you want to fetch the values which are available here in this variable into LWC or Aura. So for that purpose, we generally write get set. These are known as getter and setter. So these properties that we are defining here, these are getter setter. They can get the values and they can set the values. Okay, so if you want your wrapper variable should interact with your LWC or Aura component, so we just need to write these get and set keywords. These are the part of the syntax. Okay, and this Aura enabled I already explained. Like if you want to call a method into LWC Aura, then we need to use this annotation. And since these parameters, these wrapper class instances or the variables we will be using inside those components, so they are also defined as Aura enabled. So if there is any other question, if you have, you can ask me. I already customized this code. Now, if you want to add a few more elements here, different type of variables, if you want to create, so that is possible. Okay, so together all those will be returned to wherever we are going to call it, right? So this is how we can create a wrapper class. And one more thing I want to tell, like in one Apex class you can have any number of wrapper classes. So if you want to create another wrapper class in the same class, you can do that. So basically wrapper class is creating a data type. After creation of this wrapper class, it becomes a data type, and you can create variables of that particular wrapper. Okay, so this is all about wrapper class. I hope in this short explanation you are able to understand what is wrapper class, how we can implement it, how we can customize it, where in which scenario wrapper class can be used. Okay, so in Apex only we can use it if you want to return multiple values from one method to another. And if you want to return the data to LWC and Aura, then also it can be used. No, Navneet, this wrapper class will be part of the class always. Because if you create it outside, so it becomes another class. Okay. So then it will be a generic class. You cannot say it as a wrapper class. So mostly we define wrapper class inside a class. And wrapper class generally works as a data type. We don't have any method for wrapper class because we are just creating wrapper so that we can store different type of values together, right? That is the purpose. Okay, so this is all about wrapper class. I hope with this small explanation you are able to understand and we are able to accomplish our challenge number 23. So now from this week onwards, I will be having regular session and I already scheduled one session for tomorrow. So tomorrow we will be having a mock interview session. So we will be having some real-time situations for you and I will be coming with Neil, so he will be implementing solution in front of you live. So if you also want to practice, you can join that session tomorrow and you will be able to understand things. Okay, so this is all about wrapper classes in Apex, and as I told you earlier, like if you want to become job ready, you want to get a job in Salesforce ecosystem, so you can join our online and offline programs and we'll be helping you there. Subhashini, you are asking, can we say that classes like account, contact provided by, so these are objects, not classes. Okay, and object is already working as a container, so you can say that that is a wrapper. So account and contacts are object is already having different type of fields, so you can say that is a wrapper. But here in Apex class we are defining wrapper ourselves as per the need. Okay, Navneet, you are asking, what if user don't have any field access, we are querying in SOQL. So what in user context? So yeah, user won't be able to access the data. If we don't have access to fields, then data will not be fetched. Okay, Mayur Tripathi is saying, भाई interview निकाल दिया आपके वीडियो देख के. That's great. Congratulations, Mayur. I'm really happy. Like by just watching the videos, you are able to clear the interview. So that's great. We are helping people in Jaipur. Like in Jaipur, we are doing lots of training. So till now, more than 100 folks we have trained, and out of those, 45 folks like they are able to crack the interviews and they are doing job. So I'm happy like whenever anybody gets a job because it form a career. So I think this is it for today. So I will be again coming live tomorrow and we'll be having some mock interview preparation with that. Okay, there is one more question. Arham is asking, is it necessary to have a constructor in wrapper class when it's necessary and when it's not? So Arham, constructor, why we are defining? Because if you want to initialize these values, okay, if we don't have constructor, then these values you won't be able to initialize. So if you want to initialize these wrapper class variables, then for sure you need to have a constructor. Okay, if you don't want to initialize them, then constructor is not required. Okay, so I hope Arham this answers your question. If you have any more question, you can ask. And in the meanwhile, those who are live, just scan this QR code, at least Instagram, Telegram, any one platform of Scale Horizon if you can follow. Yes, Shubham, I will be coming live so that these videos can be created on daily basis. Okay, yeah, so I will be consistent from now onwards. Okay, guys, so thank you for joining this session. and I will connect with you tomorrow with another session. Thank you for joining this live and asking the questions.